Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. Oh, yay. My husband is number 1. My sister is number 2. Munirat is number 3. Temi Daniel is number 4. Hi, everybody. Wow, my family members came in first. I'm so excited. Hey, PJ. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It's so good to see everyone this wonderful Sunday evening. How we doing? Hello. Hi. Wow, it's so good to see us again. It's so great to be here. Thank you, my sister. Opeyemi is here. Whoop whoop. Welcome everybody. Welcome. It's good to have you all here. It's good to be here. Thank you. Mayaku is here. Yay! Mayo. Hello. Hey, Eunice is here. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this. It's good to have you all here. Hello everybody. Welcome. Hi everyone. Temitope, welcome. Thank you everybody. Good evening. So I'm just doing like 30 seconds, 40 seconds to have more people join us, then we start. So how you guys doing? How's the Sunday coming up? How's your day been? It's good to see everyone. Hi sis. Thank you. Himole Oluwa, you are greeted. We will discuss this. Right, it's good to have everyone here. Beam Boy is here. Yay! Beams, how are you? Awesome. Wow. Okay, we're making progress. All right, so I'm trying to just, Morning KG, welcome. Hi. Hello everyone. Hello, it's good to see you guys. I'm so excited that you are here. And then Madi, hi. And I think that we're going to start now. All right, so before we start, let's just say a word of prayer. Father, we thank you again for another time like this. Thank you for another session of Ife Talks. We commit everything to you, Lord. Have your way. Speak through us, speak to us, and let us be blessed. Let our lives be transformed, and let everything go in accordance to your will. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm fine. I'm actually doing really good. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for being a part of today's show. So my name is Ifeoluwa Ogunjobi. I'm your host for Ife Talks. And today we're going to be talking about something very, very, very interesting. And we're talking sex in marriage. So, when I first, put out the flyer and everybody saw sex, people started chatting me, hey Ife, what's this sex about? Can singles join? Of course singles can be here because it's for everybody. Are you going to be talking about sexual styles? No, I'm not. That's not why we are here. I'm not going to describe to you how to have sex with your partner, right? But we're going to be talking about the issues that are related with sex, because from research we realize that one of the things that causes issues in marriage is sex. Sex is a major issue in marriages, right? And then because we realize that it's something that causes problems, right? So there's need to address it. There's a need for people to be aware. So if you're not married, it's good. It's the perfect time, so you're learning about some things that you should know before you get married as relates to sex, right? And if you're married, you're learning how to do better. You're learning how to communicate. You're trying to identify areas that you're probably not doing things right, so that everybody is, there's a balance, and everybody's happy. And then we also realized from research that men are more sexually inclined. Men like this sex thing a lot. Now there's some women who are really sexually active, but when we wait, we realize that the men, it's not a competition. Men, can have sex like every day, every time, and we women are like, is it food? Is it every day? So we're going to see how we can balance it, the things that we need to know, things that we should improve on, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Gang. So we have a very amazing couple that are going to be talking to us about sex, right? Now, if you were in my stream like two seasons ago, should I call it season? 2 seasons ago, I had Olabisi Folarin come here to talk to us about overcoming struggles in the early years of marriage. You know, she talked to us about her own personal struggles, the things that she went through when she first got married and all of that. And then, you know, now she's coming back again, but she's coming with her husband, and now they are coming on a different level. It's talk about sex. Now these people are certified marriage counselors. Yes, they are pastors. They pastor a church called the Equipping Church, right? But in addition to that, they are certified marriage counselors. So you need counseling concerning relationship, concerning marriage and all that. They're your go-to people, right? So we're going to be having them today, you know, to come and talk to us about sex in marriage. Okay, so before they come, so especially if you're here, please kindly send me an invite so that, you know, we can start immediately, because we're hitting it straight, right? The questions that some people have asked me. Yeah, she did a great job the last time. Yes, she did. And today is even going to be better, because it can only keep getting better, right? So there's some questions that some people have asked me about sex in marriage, which I've written down, and there are some questions that of course I've written down. Like I always say, I've only married for like 2 seconds, so these things there are a lot of things, right? So we're going to be learning a lot from them, from the couple, right? So so yeah, I was saying, Pastor BC, if you're here, please kindly send us the request so that we can start, right? So I would so that we can just hit the train running. Okay, so anyways, before they come online, right? Before they come online, okay, so they're going to be joining us pretty soon. I'm about to bring them in. All right, I'm excited. Okay, so our guest couple are going to be here any moment from now, right? And we're going to be talking about sex. Yep. Okay, so yay! We watch
She just stepped out to still join us.
Awesome, no problem. Tapis, can you speak up a bit? So I'm trying to.
Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, but no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Right. I think the network is a bit shaky, but I'm sure that
I don't know why.
Okay, so I'm trying to balance, by God's grace. The network has to cooperate. Today's topic is too hot for the network to try and do anyhow. All right, so Pastor Mayor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, it's still breaking a bit. It's still breaking a bit.
Okay, but I can hear you perfectly.
No, I'm not hearing so well. I need to be sure, is it from me, or can you guys hear properly, so that I'm sure that maybe it's me or is everybody?
I can hear you all the time. I can hear you. I don't know if the others, if they can't hear you.
Yeah, someone said that. I think it's from your end. I think that's from your side. But if you can hear me, and then if I can hear you, then we'll just glide through it, and then I hope that it just balances out, right? Okay?
All right.
All right, great. So, while we wait for Pastor BC, yay, Pastor BC is here. Welcome, ma'am. Looking hot as usual, even though this network is trying to be funny, but nope, we will not agree for this network. Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, so I think that the network is from your side, because everybody can seem to hear me properly, but they cannot hear you properly. So should we try and rejoin? Do you want to try and rejoin so that we're sure?
Okay, try and rejoin. Okay.
Yeah, try and rejoin again. Please send me another request, okay? All right, great. So so we're going to try and get them back, because the network was quite bad, and then from feedback I'm seeing on the stream, it seems that everybody can hear me, but we can't hear them well. So yeah, I think it's the network from their end. right? So, but I'm sure hopefully by the time they come back, it will be better. So, anyways, while we wait for them, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking today about sex. Now, I have a lot of questions that people have been asking me. So, somebody that isn't married asked me something very, very important. I don't really have to say this question yet because this question is a table shaking question. So, I'm just going to keep it, right? So, we realize that there's something called rape in marriage. You know, it's amazing because how is it possible that there's rape in marriage? So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I have a question here that relates to that. There's another one about consent. Apparently, even though the husband's body is the wife and the wife's body is the husband, there's still something called consent. You cannot just think that you can spread the leg before and just slide in. No, there has to be consent. Neither can the woman just pounce on the husband and just start being So no, there still has to be consent. So we're going to talk a little bit about consent here today, right? So as we wait, marital rape, yeah. So we're going to discuss that. All right. So we're going to be talking about how to, you know, express dissatisfaction because, you know, sex is an ego thing for men. Like they need to feel like you can't just tell a man that look, I do not enjoy. You can know what you did now. You're not trying to. This kind of sex is that no, there's a way that you have to. And so it's possible that your husband may think he's doing a lot of great things, and then you're not enjoying the sex. So, and then they have to express it to your husband, or that they have to express it to your wife. You cannot just see and say, babe, you're not doing good. You need to improve your, you know, stuff. So yeah, we're going to be learning about that because some people are struggling with this. Some people have never even enjoyed any form of sexual intercourse with their spouse, and they are unable to say or unable to, you know, express a lot of that stuff. So maybe it's what culture has taught us that, you know, as the wife, you just have to keep quiet. Anything your husband says is what it is. If your husband says bam, you just go. If your husband says now, it's now. You know, and some women are dying in silence. And, you know, for example, some men can also be dying in silence, right? So, you know, yeah, someone is saying that, tell him the way it is now. Should be married with partnership. So partners is saying that, but really, yes, I agree with you, but you know, there's some men that when I even take it right, they'll be like, without all the energy that I put into this thing, you know, I work so hard to do this, and they just don't be like, well, don't think that it doesn't get anywhere. So women will be pretending that they enjoy it, and you they're not. So there are a lot of things that, you know, people are going through in this sexual expression to marry. Some women literally run like her. And it's not in there. I've been off on that. No, today on my period. You'll be on that period for 20 days. The period never ends, you know. So there are also, you know, different things that come up when it relates to sex in marriage, and we're going to be learning about that today. So I know that a couple are still trying to join and, you know, come back. So let's see what we can do. Okay, yeah, I think we're having them back any moment from now. So someone says I'm very passionate about the topic. I'm passionate. It's a serious something. Because for the rest of your life, you're this person. Yay! They're back. Welcome back, Sarah and Mom.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. So let's hope that this time around it can be better. So we're just going to hit it running, and I'm going to start asking my questions immediately. All right. So if you're single, stay. You're married, stay. Don't worry, it's not porn, right? We're not going to be describing sexual style. Someone said that you're going to be telling us the style to do. I'm not talking about style, oh. I don't even know style, please. I don't even know what style means. So don't have me asking me style, please. I've never known a man, please. All right, so yeah. So once again, our couple is introduced you earlier before you joined. Right, so I'll just again, this is Pastor Muyiwa and Bisi Folari. Everybody knows Pastor Bisi. They've been so excited because, you know, she was here 2 seasons ago. Yeah, Pastor Bisi's come back. I was like, yep, she's coming back. And she's come back even better because she's here with her husband. So if you think that you heard depth, you're about to hear Rema. It's not going to be unfolding because Pastor Muyiwa is a bank of great knowledge. So they pastor the Equipping Church, and apart from the pastoral duties that they have, they are marriage and relationship counselors. You want to get married, go and meet them. Anything you want about marriage and relationship, just go straight to. Obviously, she does. In fact, you see she has PhD, not even masters, PhD. She's a professor it feels like you just hit her. She will follow online, anything that has to do with relationship, marriage, counseling, you know, she's your go-to person. So welcome, Pastor Mo and Pastor Pese. And there's a lot of time as well, so we're just going to start. So apart from questions I see here, I'll ask Pastor Mo some questions, ask Pastor Mo some questions, and then anyhow as it goes. So let's start with Pastor Mo. How important is sex in marriage? Let's start from there. How important? Well, within our answers, like short, just so we can go as far as we can.
Sex is very important in marriage because without sex, you cannot consummate the marriage. So the marriage is not actually ratified before God without you having sex. So sex is very important in marriage. And God made it for several reasons. It's for pleasure. It's also for completeness. And then there's no way you guys can get to become real soulmates without any form of sex. So sex is very important in marriage.
Right. Okay, great. So now that we've gotten the ground running, so sex is important in marriage. Anybody that thinks that they are going to marry and not have sex, please just stay single. It's not an option. You must do this thing called sex. Right. Okay, so I will now move, right? So there's another question I have here. It says that what could be the reasons so it's from a man and a woman's perspective. So Pastor Pese will answer from the woman's perspective, Pastor Mario will answer from a man's perspective. So what could be the reasons that, you know, a woman doesn't want to have sex in marriage? What could be the many reasons? I mean, just a few of them that could be the reasons why women are not just want to have sex. Or, you know, it is a struggle to, you know, for the husband to convince and let's do this thing now. You know, she's having one extra the other. So what could be the hidden reasons for this kind of attitude? So Pastor Pese will start.
Okay, if I start for me.
Yes, ma'am. For you.
Okay, why women don't want to have sex? Okay, it's simple. So many things. I'll just give like 3 things. The first one, she's not enjoying it. Simple. The thing about sex and sex is supposed to elicit pleasure or pain. So like one of my sis will always say, you don't need encouragement to respond to a stimulus. Do you understand? It's like you use pin to hit somebody. You don't need to encourage the person to shout. As in, it's painful, they will shout. And the same way too, if it's pleasurable, there is no how. They will express it and then they would want it. So for a lot of women, they're not enjoying it because, and there are so many reasons for that. Before I go into others to do with the men, for some women, even though this is not well said, I learned this from another colleague in the coaching space. Some women are circumcised. Do you understand? And they themselves are not aware of it, as strange as that sounds. Some women are circumcised and they don't know they are circumcised. Circumcision is simply the clitoris being cut off. Do you understand? So what the clitoris is to a woman is the same thing like your penis is to the man. It is the central focus of sensation. So if that is off, there's no other woman is like half of her libido. What am I even saying? 90% of her libido has been cut off. Okay? So there are that demographic of women who have that issue. And so the way their men will have to make love to them will be completely different from the way he will make love to a normal woman with a clitoris still intact and that wasn't circumcised. Now for the women that don't enjoy it, it could simply also mean that the man has not learned her pleasure spots. Do you understand? The man has not learned her pleasure spots. There are pleasure spots in your partner's body. What could be a pleasure spot in my body might just not be a pleasure spot in Ife's body. Do you understand? Much as nipples is a big thing for a lot of women, some women, that's not where you get it. I mean, you get them. If you're not hitting the G-spot, they are not feeling it. So there are different reasons why a woman doesn't want it. And sometimes she's simply stressed. And what can the men do at that point? Try and distress your wife. If you know that a woman is under a lot of pressure, she's somebody's daughter, she's your wife, she's somebody's sister-in-law, she's a mother, she's somebody's personal assistant at work. There's so many hats women wear. I know the men will argue that their hats they wear too, but permit me to say women wear much more multi-faceted hats. Do you understand? So a woman who is stressed is definitely not going to be looking forward to sex. So the men need to start looking for ways of distressing their wives if they want to have the best of her, you know, in on the bed. If they want her to have interest in it. Let me just chip in something funny. There are several ways you could help distress your wife if you want her to enjoy it. sometimes, you know, the way we just post pictures sometimes, and you just like just because. There's no reason. You just feel like posting it. It's beautiful, so I want to post it just because. You know, this kind of hashtag, just because. You can also send credit alerts to your wife's phone from time to time, just because. Listen to me, not because that day you want to have sex. All right, you might even not touch her for the next 2 days, but you've already wet the ground. It's called wetting the ground. If by the third day you now come, or even on that same day, listen, she's happy. Why not giving me that look? So when she tell him to stop giving me that look, he's a distressor. Distress your woman. If she's stressed, she doesn't want to have sex. Yeah. There are other fun things. There are other fun things too you could do. I mean, if you're not the type that is domestic, and I'm like your wife is like me, who is a domestic person and whose love language is acts of service. For goodness sake, help out now. When you come back, it's not the time to cross your leg, watch newspaper. You know, there are some men like that. They won't move an inch. They won't flex a muscle. She's sweating, carrying a baby on her back. The baby is crying. They can't attend to that baby. And yet she's cooking. She's doing amala on the fire. Hey, you won't die. Does not demand you. Take those, distress your wife and see her come alive. So I think I mentioned that. I'll just stop there. Why is my husband smiling?
So, yeah, because we're about to get in. So, I mean, it's not so common, right? Because men are naturally sexual. They're always ready. But sometimes, some men are also not interested in having sex with their wives. So, Pastor Muyiwa, what can be the underlying reasons why men, you know, disconnect or are not interested in sex?
Okay, generally, I want to say that, let me quickly say this. On this stream, we have a lot of pastors joining. I can see a few pastors joining. If you are a big girl. Anyway, let me say what I have to say. All right. When you talk about men not being interested, sometimes the man is, I mean, we used to say that men are compartmentalized. That is, a man has different compartments, lives in compartments. A woman works in a straight curve. What that means is everything matters to a woman. But for a man, he can leave this, but there are times that there are issues at work, there are challenges, there are things, and so the man may not be interested in sex. But the sincere truth is, if you have lived with your husband for a while, you will obviously know what will cause him to be aroused. No matter how pastorally the guy is, there are certain things about you that will get him aroused. For instance, you can decide that, okay, you want to have sex and you see that he's beginning to misbehave, it's like he's getting busy and all that. All you need to do is to dress down. Get into some very interesting, you know, wares that will reveal those areas that he loves to see. And then, without being invited, he will jump in.
It's not that the areas he loves to see.
For instance, for some men, what they like in the woman is the legs. When they see her legs, it affects them. It affects the way they, I mean, it changes their orientation. They are gone. For some men, is the buttocks, well packaged. When they see it, they are like, oh my God, what is this? I must enter Jerusalem today. There are some men, it's the frontal side, you know. So I mean, you need to know what arouses your man. If you know what arouses him, that is one. Then number two, another thing is, okay, if that doesn't seem to work very well, you know areas of his own body too that when you touch, it goes on fire.
Yes, let me let me come on that. I was saying something that you know, dress down. I don't understand. Why are you wearing jeans to bed? Like, I don't get it. What are you getting? Like, seriously, why are you wearing jeans to bed? You are wearing iron pants. Like, seriously, is it compulsory for you to wear pants to bed? Like, as a woman, like, seriously. Pastor, if you want the influence here, just don't believe that. Anyways, okay, well, we know that women, you know, the way we are wired, sometimes their body fluids, you know, come out. But there are seasons where we are dry as well. Can you do without the pants? When your lingerie, lingerie, how do they call it? Please help me put it. Lingerie. And I mean, yeah, so even a man that is dead, you are in a spoon position. Please don't ask me what spoon position is. Go and look for it. Probably your man is facing this direction. You are back in. Your put-up is on his thigh. Listen to me. You see, tiredness will fly away. There are things you do. There's this thing we say that men are attracted by the things that they see. How do women process that information? We just know it as head knowledge. How does that translate into action? If they are truly affected by the things they see, Like my husband said, dress down. You don't have a lingerie. You don't have a hot pants. You are always wearing trousers. Especially if you have nice legs. A long time ago, I discovered that I never used to think I had nice legs. My husband gets turned on by just the sight of my legs. How do I use that information? Leave me alone, Pastor Muyiwa. We're here to help couples. How do I use that information? It simply means I'm not going to be wearing Mary Magdalene boo-boo. I'm going to be wearing short pants, knickers, or lingerie. So each time he sees it, even if he's tired, he has bills to pay. Honestly, and then I dim the light in the room. Look, there's going to be fireworks. And then some men don't want sex because they don't want sex because you're dirty. Some ladies are just dirty down there. Seriously. Some men are very good. If the room is not looking inviting, you know, scented candles and all. Some men are that finicky. They are very neat guys. So you want to get him in. Your room should be a distressor. Just like we say the men should look for distressors for the woman. Your room should be a distressor so that your man is walked up. He comes. You see that sanctuary called your room. If you need to get an interior decor, especially if you can afford it, get it and create a very, very cozy atmosphere. Let's use scented candles. You know, this is really nice music. There are things that you can do. Then another thing why I think men are not interested. And then you don't have tongues. Okay. Like somebody told me one of my tweets. You don't have sexy pants. It's only cutting. It's only cutting material. You have to work happy. What is it? Hard to say. You don't have tongues. You don't have sexy lingerie. Let me stop.
Okay, great.
And I mean, that don't know how to explore their men's body. Some women don't know how to explore their men's body. So why would you be interested? I was shocked to hear that some women have never held their husband's penises before. Really? Are you serious, auntie? Like, you understand? I don't understand. I'm not understanding.
Let me give an excuse. They said that how can you use arms that you used to hold the microphone in church to hold something that you have to focus on spiritual things?
The Lord himself has sanctified it for any use you want to, especially in that bedroom. He ordained it. Like, seriously, are you talking about that here? You know, that's the way you can caress your man's penis, softly, gentle strokes that, look, he will come. He will orgasm without penetration. That is an art, lady. You see, my husband is like, oh, Jesus. He's actually...
I'm a virgin, please. Please, oh, please, let us visit talk, please, oh. Okay, let me ask my next question. Okay, so Pastor Missy, this one is for you anyway. So now, if for example, you know, a woman is not enjoying sex, or she hasn't been enjoying sex for a while, and maybe because of the kind of person her husband, she's afraid, like, how do I express this man that I'm not enjoying sex? What do you think is the best way women can go around expressing to their husband that they are not enjoying the things that he's doing sexually to them, and not bruising his ego?
Well,
If you said?
I said
I'm not bruising his ego at the same time.
Who should answer?
Oh, Pastor Missy, it's you, because you're telling the women how to approach their husbands now. Okay,
first things first. I'll say everything doesn't have to be verbal if that's what you're scared of. That's why we say communication in marriage. They say communication is the engine of marriage. Do you understand? It's the life wire of any marriage. Right. And communication is not just out of the bedroom, it's also within the bedroom. In the very act of sex, learn to express yourself. And expression doesn't really first have to be verbal. There should be a lot of non-verbal communication going on in the very act. Do you understand? Like, if a woman is about to hit orgasm, and I always tell them, and there is a very thin dynamic there that a lot of men do not understand. So because men thrive on feedback during lovemaking, they see that their woman is enjoying it. She's moaning, she's giving him the heads up that I'm enjoying this. The natural man is psyched up by that action and he wants to do better. So in an attempt to do better, let's say, please follow me closely. Let's say this is the reading he was going, his penis inside her vagina. This was the reading that brought about that oxygen and made her, you know, express. Because you are excited and you want to, like, wow, I love that, but you want to start increasing it. She's going to lose that oxygen. Now, at that point, you woman, don't shortchange yourself, because this oxygen we're talking about for the women, it lasts just a few seconds. So don't shortchange yourself. If you keep quiet and say, you know that he's going to increase the tempo, just hold him. That's a non-verbal communication. Over time, when you keep holding him at that point, Look, men, you need to understand that your women are communicating a lot to you, non-verbally. The problem here sometimes is that the men are not even getting it. So if she's holding you, you can see that she's hitting an orgasm. It's time to pause on that button, sir. That very button where you are that is giving her pleasure, that is moving. Don't move past that. Don't increase the volume. You have communicated that way. That if you pass it like that, I lose it. And then in making love, we have to be sensitive. Communication is verbal and non-verbal. So before even we go verbal, a good and caring man should watch. He should watch the flow of things. For my husband, once I'm not into it, he knows. He pulls aside, what's wrong, babe? What's wrong, babe? He knows I'm not into it. Like, okay, it's just a emergency. He knows. He would either stop and I'm like, no, you can keep on as long as you are enjoying it. My husband always tells me, if you are not enjoying me, I'm not enjoying it. I used to think it was forming at the beginning, but I found that I was a genuine response. So those are ways you can communicate. If you're not enjoying it, then if he's still not getting it, then you might say, ah, babe, not there. Here, leave his hand to where it does it for you. Culture has how do I say, caged a lot of women. You are told not to be loose. Yes, you are told not to be loose, around the master. He doesn't think you are loose. Let me tell you something, ladies. Your husband wants you to be a vixen in bed. Look, if there's anywhere to be loose, it is right in that bedroom. You earned the right the minute you guys said yes to each other before God and before witnesses. You are licensed to express yourself. All right? Those other people on the other side, or those girls or those brothers, that's what they know how to do. It's the skill. So you verbalize it, or you do it, or you show him non-verbal. Lay his hand to where it does it for you. If it's your breast, lay his hand there. Hey, they don't used to hold somebody. They don't used to arrest somebody for this kind of thing. Do you understand? And that's why the guys don't say it. They say it the way they want it. So the women should also say it the way they want it. If you can't talk, lead his hand to where it is doing it for you, for God's sake. Yes, so be a vixen in bed. Oh, God will bless Joby. He's accusing to what? Yes, listen to me. This is my husband. He said, Pastor, look, if I tell you what he says, my husband not be a group. But I will tell you. my husband wants some things. I'm not telling you that a man is just a man, and they love their women being expressive. So verbally or not verbally, just make sure you are passing your information across and stop shortchanging yourself.
Can I say this?
Please do, sir.
Can I say this? I think the first major thing that is important in marriage is for those of you to be interested in each other's, joy and mutual pleasing. You see, I think where the problem really is that culturally, women believe that they are just in a relationship to make the man happy. That is not true. You are in that relationship that has to do with sex to make both of you happy. So if you are not enjoying it, why should he enjoy it? So both of you should enjoy yourself. And one of the ways to get that done is that both of you have made up your mind that, look, we'll look for a way to make ourselves enjoy this thing. And there are no, you see, and then sometimes some people have said, there's also an argument in church. People say, how do I know how to do this thing when I've not practiced? There's only like practice. She was a virgin. I married her when she was 30. I was 29. All we did was just take our time. First of all, we read materials, we read books. Then secondly, what we also did was that we took out time to explore one another. And over time, you get better. You know one thing I discovered about sex and relationship? It gets better as the year progresses.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you understand that grammar.
We are still exploring till now. We're 13 years in marriage. So, just keep exploring. If something works today, a man touches a part of your body, he presses a button, and you get a sensation. Common sense dictates that you signal to him to stay on that button. That registers in his head because he's also interested. That's what sex is work. The man takes note of the fact that next time I hit this particular button in her body, there's a response you get. So the next time, the next 2-3 times, he keeps hitting on this, that, oh, this is something. Look, let me tell you something. For the woman, most times if you don't hit the G spot, she cannot orgasm. She cannot get to that height. And I can tell you that my husband did not perfect the act of getting to the G spot until much, much later in marriage. And how did he know? Because I kept giving him a heads up. Look, as a woman, you have to be expressive in bed. You know what? You are doing yourself a favor. The more expressive you are, the more the guy knows what it is that is actually making it happen for you. And because he knows, he makes a mental note that over time he keeps experimenting and exploring till it becomes that. Do you understand? The minute my husband knew, okay, this is how deep I go, this is how I flex when I'm in my wife, that gives her an orgasm. This seems to be the G spot. So right now, I might need to teach him before that, but not anymore. My husband knows if he really wants to get to the gist, but he knows exactly how deep he should go or how deep he shouldn't go. All these things are techniques as well. A lot of men feel it to just trust him. No, for the average woman, trusting doesn't do it.
No, it doesn't. I agree. Okay, so now this takes me to my next question. All right, so maybe Pastor Muyiwa should help us with this, and Pastor Bisi can also add to it. So when there are issues, like a couple is having issues, they guys are fighting, right? How possible is it that, you know, I mean, there's already a fight, there's a problem, then you know the husband has to say, let's have sex. How possible is it that you can have sex because you know women are emotional beings. So if a woman is not happy, and if there's an issue, like there's no way she can arouse herself to want to, you know. So how can you? Is it right for you to want to have sex in the middle of a fight? You know, your wife is not happy, your husband is not happy, or is there a precedence to it that you have to resolve the issue first before we move to sex, or we can actually have sex in the middle of a problem? Can we do that? And yes, you can drop your questions online. So, Pastor Muyiwa, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I've already answered your question in a way. Because really, women are emotional. Yeah, women are emotional. And we cannot, look, the truth of the matter is that there's no way we can go about it. The woman is emotional, okay? And because women are emotional, the truth of the matter is that if the issue is not resolved, it may be very difficult to have a sweet sex. I'm not saying you can have sex. If she's the kind of woman that is afraid of you, she can just allow you to just do your thing. And then if you are the type that all that you're interested in sex is shook and get out, fine. I heard somebody one time, one person was talking online, was saying that, what is all this thing about sex? Maybe sex is just 2 minutes, a 2-minute enjoyment. I smiled. I said, this guy has not understood sex. And I'm shocked that, I mean, I'm sure that the wife, if I were to meet the wife and I speak with the wife will be able to tell me that, look, he doesn't understand how to get her to where she's supposed to go. Because, you see, sex it takes time. It takes time. So if you really want to have a good sex, I'm talking to my brothers now, make sure you resolve the issue. Okay, let me talk a bit selfishly to the man. All you need to do is just get to listen to her, tell her you are sorry, apologize. As you're apologizing, you are touching her, everything will flow.
Yeah, better be apologizing genuinely too.
Genuinely. Genuinely.
Okay. I want to say something. Okay. I wrote down something before I came on here that for you to successfully make love to a woman's body, you must have first made love to her mind.
Yeah.
Because the mind is actually the biggest sex organ before your genitals. Here is where it all starts. If a woman feels it here, she's more likely to feel it down there too. You understand? For you to successfully make love to your wife's body, you have to have made love to her mind. So you don't expect her all morning, you had an unresolved issue. Common sense dictates that you guys send yourself. That should be a regular. But when something now goes wrong, you are not resolving the issue. Listen to me. An angry, bitter, stressed woman is not going to be ready for sex. That's one of the reasons women don't want to have sex sometimes. She's angry with you, man. Yeah. She's angry. She's pissed. She's annoyed over an unresolved issue. And common sense should dictate that look for a way to always step down the issue. You have to look for how to pour into an emotional bank account, especially if you have something at the back of your mind in life. Because really, if it's time you now say, let's go where? To Jerusalem or Israel? Where exactly? It's not going to happen. If you're not going to do something about it during the day and you have that in your mind for the night, it's not going to happen. You're going to be dealing with an angry, bitter, annoyed woman. And even if she does, it must be one that is, like my husband said, is afraid of you, one. Or the other category, they are just women that have really been worked on by God to, like, you know what, not that I'm enjoying it, let me just do it for him. Listen to me, it is for the men, it is for you people that sex is a distressor. For a woman, her whole emotion and her body is giving when she's doing this thing. Men can have sex just to distress themselves. For a woman, is never that. So if she's not happy emotionally, you guys are in trouble. The best you're going to get is perfunctory sex.
All right, thank you for that. That's, I mean, it starts from the mind for a woman. That's so true. That hits me because it's really true. Like, it's a mental thing for us. It's not a physical thing. It's an emotional thing for women. That's very true. So, you know, Pastor Muyiwa, so, you know, when you're married to your wife, your husband, you guys have become one. So is there consent? Is there anything like that word consent? Does it work inside the equation of marriage? Like there must be consent, or you whether consent or not, as in, so is there consent in marriage when it comes to sex?
Like I said, if you really want to have a good sex, there should be consent. If she's not interested and you go ahead, it's rape. You have only raped your wife. I know some people will disagree with me, but that's the truth. Yeah, of course. One of the things we learned when we're going for marriage counseling is that, you know, your body is our body. My body is, my body is our body is mine. But the sincere truth also is that, though that may be true, but one of the things we must understand is, while that is true, it's very important that you get our consent. It's our consent that will make her to go all the way and make you really, really enjoy the sex. Otherwise, it will just be that, okay, you are just there. No, no, no. You need our consent. That way, she will be happy doing it. She will even get you in the flow, you know, better than you imagine.
Right, right. So if there's no consent, it's rape. So that means this thing that puts about rape in marriage is actually very true. Right. So, okay, now the next question I have, Fumbi, you can ask your question though, right? So, for this one is for somebody asked that, is it allowed for married couples to watch porn in order to better their sexual experience with one another? So, is it right for married couples to watch porn?
My answer is no. And you know why? One of the things that you need to understand when it comes to porn is that it is not natural for two people to be having sex and it's videoed. They are either on drugs for that to be done, and then the kind of, you know how many shots they take before they get the actual picture they are looking for? So you now want to watch sex, both of you, want to watch porn, and then, you know, go ahead and think that that's the way to stir yourself up. One, is not right. Then number two, as a Christian, you don't know what spirit you are introducing into your marriage. See, marriage, when it comes to sex, sex is not just a physical act. It's a spiritual act. There could be demons introduced in when you are watching porn. These guys are not normal. They are not real people. They are not people. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry. I'm a pastor, but that's the problem thing. They are not normal. So for most of you to sit down and watch porn, if it's okay, you just want to watch a film that is maybe a family film or something, and then, okay, you guys after watching, you get into sex, fine. But if you're saying porn in porn, my answer is no, capital no. Okay,
so somebody is asking now that what about books for better sexual knowledge? Are books allowed?
All right, yeah. For us, we read books. There's one book, I don't know if they still have in Lantana, it's called Celebration of Sex for Newlywed. Oh my God, that book will show you all the sex style. For those who want sex style, you need to know the sex style. I know the interesting thing about sex style is that until you try all the style, you don't know which one works for you. I've discovered that for some people, some style work for them more than the other one. And then how do you make your marriage interesting if you cannot read? There are materials that you can read. Doug Edward Mills did a material on marriage. A very voluminous book on marriage. And there are all the sex style you want to know is there. And all the questions and all. So you should read. Read book will help you to increase your intelligence when it comes to that aspect of sex. Because there's nothing natural. We didn't bring all these things. We learn them. Okay? But you get better when you learn. When you read books, and I'm talking about good books. There are a lot of Christian counselors that are sex therapists, and they are written books, and then there are even some online and all that. So really, you can study, but you not
read books. All right. No porn. All right. Good one, sir. So now brings me to the question of frequency. So there's is it possible that you can be having sex every day in marriage? Because there are some men, it's every day. We must have sex, this thing, we must do it every day. And maybe Pastor Bisi should help us here, right? So some men want to have sex every day. And I don't know, but is it possible that you can just be doing basketballs every day? Is that the destiny and purpose that we are together for only? Can we be doing this every day, please?
Thank you, my sister. We did not come to this world to have sex. Okay, that's on the lighter note, but this is just what I'll say. Honestly, if you want to be having sex every day and you have the capacity for it, Bless your souls. But understand that this thing has to be with consent. Scripture is very clear on these things. It says do not defraud each other. And even if you have to, by consent, listen. So if you are forcing the other party, you as a woman or you as a man, you have extra, is it estrogen and testosterone, whichever one it is, and it is running over time, and you really want to do it every day, every day, every day. You have to consider it in the light, from the light of the other partner. If their libido is matching yours and both of you are sex freaks like that, you can do it every day. Why not? It's your marriage, okay? It works for you. But in a situation where one person cannot keep up with that frequency of every day, then where is the love of God in that marriage? It's not about you. It's about mutual pleasure. You talk about mutuality. What works for one should work for the other as well. And if it's not working, then you guys need to reach a compromise. Not that one person must be forcing himself or herself on you every single day. My God, that can be draining. Except by consent. If both of you are, your energy is matching to each other, okay. But honestly, health-wise, I really don't know how that plays out. In the 21st century, where you have a lot of people busy working, coming in late. So last, it's about both of you reaching a decision, but not one person should never force that on the other person without their consent.
Can I say something? Can I say something also? Yeah, it's not every day may not really be good, but then I read in a book that for healthy marriage, especially if you are young couples, 3 times a week is just okay. So,
3 times also.
Please don't take that as a
rule.
No,
but I'm saying that.
It's my personal taking. I'm the owner of the taking.
Joby had better be in agreement with you, sis. Joby had better be in agreement with you.
You know, I've been seeing from the comments that my husband is blessed.
As long as both of you are in sync.
So really, because that way it can be planned and then be more effective and efficient. Because really, you see, this thing called sex, one of the things that, keeps it in your mind and makes you want to always, jump at it when it comes, is the memory that goes with it. And so there are several other things we will want to talk. I might want to chip in if time permits.
Please, I'd like to reiterate that 3 times a week is not a rule, please. It's not a rule. You guys will need to look for what works for you. But we are saying every day might just not be reasonable in this 21st century where everybody has work to do and money has to be made. All right? But if it works for both of you, no wahala. But I saw somebody ask a question now.
I'm going to ask it. I'm going to for Pastor Miwa to finish. Yeah, I have it. I'll ask the question. So, Pastor Miwa, are you done? Can I go on?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay, so the question that he asked, is a perfect question. So he said that, how do you manage sex with a pregnant woman? And maybe it's Pastor Bisi that will be able to help us. Or maybe Pastor Miwa, I don't know if you have the experience. Right? Because, let me expand the question. Let me expand the question, because sometimes when women are pregnant, like me for example, like during pregnancy, sex is like it's not even on the list. It's not even the last. It's like it's not there, right? So how do you handle sex with a pregnant woman whose sexual libido is like down?
Okay. My husband has run away. No, I will still chip in something.
Okay. We're talking about 2 different things here. One is libido being down. Another is, maybe the difficulty of having it during sex. If it's a libido issue for the woman, then the man has to be a bit understanding of the fact that it's not that she doesn't want to do, but probably our hormones are running riot now. That's why we need to read and expose ourselves to information about these things. Because if a man is on Joby. If a man understands all these things, Joby, please let me answer my question. You're making me laugh with this comment. If a man understands that about the woman's body, it's more understanding, in the fact that, you're not always high. But then, I don't know categorically if there are drugs that can help with that. Okay, but I think understanding plays a big role here on the side of the man. But it doesn't erase the fact that sex can be had during pregnancy.
Now,
it doesn't erase that sex can be had during pregnancy. But like I said, it is situation specific. There are women that if they start having sex at some particular months upward, it affects them It could even lead to a miscarriage.
Yeah.
You need to understand what works for your woman, especially if you've had one before, you've seen the trajectory. A lot of understanding revolves around these issues. But if it's somebody like me that does not do me anything, what we now are looking at is the best position.
Yes.
Is now the best position to sleep with a pregnant woman, because you can't sleep with her the way you sleep with a woman whose stomach is flat. Now, those dynamics, there are 3 different things we talked about now. So you have to look at it in the light of all those things.
All right. So I'm going to quickly ask the next question. So
not all women have low libido during pregnancy. Not all women have low libido.
Not all women. I agree. Some are very, very high. Yeah. So somebody just asked another question now.
Because you have just entered into marriage. So go on.
So is oral, the person that is oral sex okay in marriage? Oral sex?
Yes.
Somebody just asked that on the stream.
Yes.
All right. So good. Now next question. Great. So the next question on the stream again. Somebody said sex toys. Are sex toys allowed in marriage?
Well, for me, I don't. They're like a third party, because listen, everything God had in mind to be done as it comes to marriage has to do with both of you. Yeah. And that's why you need to explore your bodies to the hills. Look, there are things that I just discovered, you know, they are part of my sexuality that my husband just unleashed in me just like a year, especially when it had to do with kissing. Have we been kissing all these years in our 13 years of marriage? Yes. But I would say it was in the 12th year, my husband just entered this dimension of kissing that really, okay, he's saying 11, he's giving himself kudos. Okay, 11th year of marriage, he entered this dimension of kissing that, I mean, I so love it that and a combination of 2 other things will always get me to orgasm. But it wasn't like that. So it has to do with exploring. You keep getting better. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever you need to make that marriage pop in the bedroom is inbuilt between both of you. The problem is you have blocked your mind to exploration. Once you can explore, you don't need sex toys in your marriage, especially if one party is against it. But personally, for us, we do not agree with sex toys. Because
another thing with sex toys is you cannot have sex with anybody without a name or an image coming up in your heart. It's not possible. You don't get erect without an image of somebody and all that. So if you're using sex toy, who are you looking at? Is it your husband or somebody else, or what you are watching the movie or something? So really, it's not leading well into anywhere. And then sincerely, you are just putting yourself down. You are not getting better. I mean, if you are doing that, if you explore your partner well, God has made you perfect.
And I don't think the average man wants to be replaced by a toy.
Yeah.
I don't think the average man, there are men on the street, they can please answer or let us know. I don't think the average man wants to be replaced by a toy, because the woman gets used to that for the women. What's going to happen? So it means if the woman is not around, they don't miss it because they will satisfy their urge. Those things are not, they were not in the original plan of God. Everything you need in your, you need to satisfy your man is in your body as a woman. Everything the man needs is in, you get vice versa.
Right. All right. So the next one says that taking steroids and sexual drugs, is it right? Steroids and sexual drugs.
What if when you say sexual drug, what kind of drug? If what you are saying, and then but when you say steroid, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you need it. You don't need steroid to get on. Let me say this. There are sometimes I've heard people say, oh, my man doesn't have that energy. There are other, natural things that you can take that can help, to increase the libido, if that is what you need. But then beyond that, if you really look, exploration, when you explore each other's body, forget.
I think exploration is key. See, exploration can take it's line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Today you might not, like I said, I don't think I hit on the zip in the first 6 months or even 8 months. All right. But because I kept on building expectations. The day my husband hit the gist when I had an orgasm, I knew this is the orgasm they've been chatting about, because it was a different feeling altogether. But it took years of experience. I'm talking about kissing now at the 11th year. Have we not been kissing before now? But there's a dimension my husband entered to. Oh my God, leave that story. That one is another level. So I love it. Okay. So I think the first thing is to explore your bodies. And if you still think you need help, then I personally don't have issues with aphrodisiacs, but I am not talking about special package. There are aphrodisiacs like Kaya Mata, the tiger knot, the basics. really, if you really want to go extra. But outside of that, honestly, everything both of you need is within both of these bodies.
Right.
And then this issue of okay, I get tired easily, the man comes, and then the woman has not come. The sincere truth is that if both of you have understanding, the man may come first, but if there is understanding with the man staying and waiting, he can still come back. I have discovered that men can come back, but most times the problem is that, you know, when he just feels it's okay, and that's why I talked about the issue of not being selfish. If you're not selfish within your marriage, you want your woman to be satisfied, even when she's not, when you feel you are done and you are not, and she's not satisfied, there's something called the concept of rounds in marriage. So when you do round 1, you can wait and hold up and then do round 2. By the time you get to round 2, I'm sure she will eat somewhere. If by round 2 she has not reached it, by round 3 she may reach somewhere. Then also there are ways to go about this thing. You know, that's why when we talk about sex, really, there is the very important thing that starts sex should be, you know, foreplay. With foreplay, you can, you know, you can move on and get.
I saw a question here. Please, what does this person mean? Ask the person to clarify. If the woman is on
in the mood, the woman is not in the mood. Can the man do something? What is means that?
Please, what is something? Tell me what is something, please.
Yes, let me explain. Please, talking about masturbation. If your wife is not in the mood, as a man, should you masturbate?
Masturbate, you answer.
Masturbation is an abuse. Really, sincerely, it's an abuse. Because why are you masturbating? Oh, are you masturbating seeing yourself upon your wife? No, it's not that difficult. See, marriage is not, I mean, sex is not that bad. I mean, yesterday, I wanted it, and she doesn't want it.
I didn't want it, baby.
And I had to tell myself, wait up. There's a way to get her to want it. So, and I know what to do to get her to want it. And she always will tell me the key that, you know, if you do this, if you do that. So, you know, even if the woman is not wet, there are ways to help her to be wet.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to I really wanted to say something a little bit about that oral sex, but I felt that maybe you don't want it.
Hold that thought. You're going to say it. You're going to say it. Hold the thought. So I'm looking at them now. We have just 2 minutes, and then we're going to be timed out. Can I crave your judges for us to do like extra 15 minutes, please, or 10 minutes, please? So please, so let's just end this, and guys, let's just come back because there's so many questions, and I need to answer all your questions. You know, so let's come back, please, in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. I'll come back online now.
I understand.